Welcome back to another edition of the Quarantine Cooking Show. Hopefully this will be our last Quarantine Cooking Show.
But we may be back in the fall for season 2. Today we're making katsu sando,
which is a fried Japanese pork cutlet sandwich, popular in their train stations and bus stops. It's a convenience food. It's had its moment. It's really hot and hip and popular in Los Angeles, and it's good for picnics because it can be served hot, room temperature, even cold. All right, so let's get started. Okay, we're going to cut the pork loin into about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch cutlets. This can be done with chicken. It can be done with steak. There's an $85 Wagyu steak katsu in New York City, which is, I'm sure, delicious, but who can afford that nowadays? Here we go. All right, so there's your pork cutlets, ready for bread.
Alright, so we're just going to throw a little salt and a little pepper on both sides. Maybe trying to get like a light coverage before you bread and flour them. So we're just going to kind of press into them a little bit like this, just to flatten them out, even them out a little bit, so that they're the same thickness all the way around, and cook more evenly. Okay, and now that they're all like flat and seasoned, I'm going to dip it in the flour, press it down, other side, press it down, and then dip it in the eggs. This was 3 scrambled eggs here. We'll shake it out a little bit and then press it into the breadcrumbs, flip it, and then I like to sprinkle more so that you can get it in, and then kind of tuck it around the sides so that you get the full surface really well covered. You can just put it back on the plate and do the same thing for all of them.
Right, next, it's time to make the katsu sauce. We have all the ingredients here ready for it. Start with the ketchup.
That's 1/2 cup of ketchup.
Oyster sauce.
1/4 cup.
Sugar.
1/4 cup.
Worcestershire. Shire sauce.
1/4 cup.
And soy sauce.
1/4 cup.
Coleman's dry English mustard. And juice a 1/2 lemon. Whisk it together, and it should be ready to go. 15-20 minutes. It'll last for a couple weeks in the fridge. Right, the next thing we have to make is the Japanese mayo. We're going to make it a little spicy today.
Well, if you don't have Japanese mayo, what else would you use?
You can just use regular mayo.
Okay.
But this just has a little more umami to it than your American style mayo. You don't need a lot of this. This is sriracha hot sauce. You can use a little of this or a lot of this depending on how spicy you want your sandwich. We'll just put a couple drops in. We'll mix it. Alright, it's time to fry some pork.
Okay.
Alright, we're gonna fry our pork. See, the first thing I have set up here, I have a little half sheet pan, a little wire baking rack. And so when we fry the pork, we're going to put it on here, stick it in the oven for a few minutes, that way it'll still stay crispy all the way around. If you don't have a countertop fryer, if you don't have a thermometer, all you want to do is just take a little panko and sprinkle it in there. If it bubbles, your fryer's hot. Your oil's ready to go. And this is just about ready to go. Alright, it's time to drop our pork into the fried oil, and the thing that you want to do is very carefully drop the pork in and drop it down away from you. You don't want to overcrowd your pan either. I think we'll be able to fit all 4 in here pretty good.
And you do it away from you because obviously
You don't want the
spinning a lot.
oil to splat onto you. I'm just going to let that go. Don't walk away, don't leave it alone. Keep it on it.
And I'm going to carefully turn them over.
Again, away from you.
let the other side brown a little bit. You can see there's that nice dark golden brown color.
I'm going to flip these one more time. You want to flip them a couple times. I'm saying they're going to probably take about 6 minutes total in this fryer, and then we're going to pop them in the oven for a couple minutes while we get ready to put the sandwiches together.
Alright, and you put them in the oven so that the inside's cooked. Right?
Yeah, they'll be pretty much cooked by the time we get them on the rack, but the oven will make sure they're cooked all the way through. The rack will keep it nice and crispy. Smaller portions you won't even have to put in the oven.
Okay, so while we were laying the pork finish up, we toasted one side of this bread.
Alright, so we have our bread toasted on one side, untoasted on the other side. The toasted side will keep the sandwich from getting soggy, and this untoasted side, it won't scratch the roof of your mouth when you bite into it. We also have our shredded cabbage, simple white cabbage shredded as thin as possible using this Japanese mandolin. Be careful, it's wicked sharp. Lila, would you grab the pork out of the oven? And bring it right on over here. All right, let's put these bad boys together. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our spicy Japanese mayo, and on one side of the toast, just spread it out all the way to the edges, as evenly as you can. We take our katsu sauce, and we're going to put it on the pork.
And why do you put it on the pork and not the bread?
Again, we're going to it keeps the bread from getting too soggy. And we're going to put it on both sides. You can put pork right on right on the bottom. There you go, perfect. Then we're going to take a nice handful of this crisp cabbage, put it right on top. Going to fold over the sandwich. Now what you want to do is press it down a little bit. Let the bread kind of form around it. Then you're going to trim off the edges. These are very neat, fancy looking sandwiches, almost like a Japanese tea sandwich. And don't worry about the scraps, that's for the chef. Moment of truth.
Pork is well cooked.
It's really good. All right, that's a wrap for another quarantine cooking show.
Stay safe and keep cooking.